The show Hollywood Demons is continuing, and it just did a show on the dark side of the Power Rangers.
The black, yellow, and I was trying to think of the gray, darker colored Rangers, but I messed up by saying yellow. I was going to say like gray and purple, indigo.
Again, this week we saw the dark side of the Power Rangers, which featured stories about...
Did one of them kill somebody?
Yeah, with a sword.
Yeah, that sounded crazy. I had never heard about that one.
I've obviously heard about it because
Yeah, I'm sure. I know
follow that stuff. But the Power Rangers, they've definitely had their share of problems.
They were talking. I watched a brief video of somebody that summed up what was in that episode.
Yeah,
it covered like everything. They're like every Power Rangers dark story got a little bit.
Shout out to my boy Henry Resilient on the stream. What's up, buddy? I love when Henry's on. I feel like I'm being graded though. That's the problem. I feel like I'm being graded on my stuff. It was a really great episode, and there was a few things that were revealed that I did not know, and also a few things that came to light. One of them was that Thuy Thrang actually... I didn't know this. Apparently, during a big meeting of affiliates of the Fox Kids Network, she got up on stage and
said, you make us dance for
yes,
you, so you dance for us.
Right, exactly right. Isn't it right that you dance with us? He was innocent, but the sitter slept with the police department to get Ricardo Medina convicted. Oh, okay. So he's talking about the guy that stabbed the other guy. Henry Resilient, who is a formal authority on Power Rangers and Power Rangers drama, I'll always defer to him. He says that apparently he was innocent, but the sitter slept with the police department to get Ricardo Medina convicted. Yikes. Man. Power Rangers world is...
Did they say anything about that on the show?
I think so. Or not all of it, but some of it. So anyway, Thuy Thrang, she pretty much took one for the team, and here's what I think. I think that she was coerced into doing it from Austin St. John. For those that don't know, that's the Red Power Ranger, pictured here, third from the right, fourth from the left. He was recently convicted of scamming for payroll protection loans during COVID. So
I think they talked about that on the show too.
Yeah. Henry's covered that significantly. Henry says concerning the Medina guy, the sister did an interview and she admitted to sleeping with anyone. It was never mentioned on the show. Wow. So again, Henry knows stuff that even the show isn't showing. That's my boy Henry. Anyway, yeah, this asshole right here, Austin St. John, the guy in the red Tyrannosaurus power, I really think he is a genuine jerk. I've met him twice, and he was a jerk both times. Felt like he could be anywhere else but around me. And the story goes that it was the three of them, Thuy Thrang, Austin St. John, and Walter Jones, and they were like this team, and they were going to do it together, and they were going to try to blackmail Haim Saban.
It sounded like collective bargaining.
Yeah, well, again, dude, they wanted a percentage of the toy sales, and producers on the show, directors on the show, cast members on the show said that shit is never going to happen. Not going to happen. Don't try it. And Thuy went out there and tried it. And
they should be happy for the scraps they were getting. They don't know the way the world works.
That's pretty much what Haim said. And
that's what you're saying too, it sounds like. It's sad.
No, I'm just reporting on it.
I know, but it sounded like you're against collective bargaining and people standing up for
I'm saying
what they're worth.
Well, okay, let's talk about that then. Do you think that the actors made that show, or the people in the costumes and the robot dinosaurs and the monsters and all that other shit? What made that show?
I don't know. I think the profits probably could have been shared more equally.
Probably, but again, you're a person. At the end of the day, you're a
How do we
person in a
change
costume.
it? How do we change it and make it so that?
I
That's why
mean,
you collective bargain.
one way is that they've talked about is to try to make the show a union show, so that they actually have to abide by union laws, because that was the big complaint, was that they were shooting a lot, and they were shooting twice as much as a regular show and getting paid a third of what a regular show cost. But again, you got to think about what they were doing in Haim Saban's mind. I think it's like,
How much is he worth?
billions. He's worth a lot of money. Let me put it this way.
And he couldn't afford to pay him a little
Let
more?
me put it this way.
How are you going to put it?
If let's say that Haim said, you know what? Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you 1% of the toy sales total. Give it to each of them. Do you know how much money that would have been for each of those actors?
I think he could have said.
Do you know how much money that would have been to each of those actors?
Instead, it went into his pocket. Do you know how much
I
money
mean,
that
again,
was
it
that
doesn't
went into
matter.
his pocket?
Again,
Why
you
does he
then would-
deserve? Why
you
does he
screw
deserve that
the
much
entire-
more than these people?
Dude. Again, I'm not saying it's not a matter of deserving it or not.
No.
I'm not saying it's a matter
Well,
of
you were
whether
just
they
saying they
deserve it.
don't deserve it.
No,
You said, imagine how much money they would be.
No,
They
I'm
don't,
saying-
those actors don't deserve 1% of that.
that's $5 to $10 million, Christian.
So, why does the
I mean,
why does
because
the
I
CEO
feel like
deserve it?
you should earn what you make. I mean, you should earn it, and if you don't earn it,
It's
I mean,
not
and all
like,
they
it's
were
not like
doing-
they weren't working.
dude, I mean, you're talking about these people making more than people on Seinfeld, making more than people on, Friends, making more than on any other show. 5 to 10. There's no way that was going to happen. I'm just being realistic. I'm not saying they deserved it or they didn't. I'm just saying from a business point of view, and it's Fox, by the way, not Haim Saban. They were partners. See, Fox and Haim were. So I'm sure profits were split with the toy sales. I'm sure they all didn't go to Haim Saban. My point is that they can't do that, because then they have to do that for every actor that comes in after them.
That doesn't seem like a reason why they can't do it.
Well, again, like I said, you just
Unless
you live for pissing me off and trying to make me wrong.
Well,
so
it's
I'm
just
not even
always
caring
funny
about
when you defend the system.
it. Well, again, sometimes the system's right,
Yeah, billionaires.
but you're broken. So
billionaires.
you're broken and
He's-
you're different since the election.
Actors
So
don't deserve.
talking to you
don't
is like
deserve
talking
a
to
living
nothing.
wage. They don't deserve to earn what they work for. The billionaires should get it all.
I'm not saying that's what I believe.
You're saying that's the way it is, though.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. But I'm not saying that's right or
So
what
you
I
didn't
believe.
say we should try to change it.
Again, I don't think you can. You know,
Not with
I don't
that
think
attitude.
you can.
Not
and
with
I
that
told you that they've
attitude.
tried to do unionizing and they've tried to do things to get these actors more money, but at the end of the day, they're using footage from Japan. The American actors are using footage from Japan and just simply dubbing over the stuff from the people in the suits. I simply am
Well,
saying,
those Japanese
in
people
my
need to be
opinion,
paid too.
I don't even know what they're paid. Okay? That's a whole nother story. I don't know. That wasn't covered. Okay? I'm just telling you that that's what led from this to this. The New Rangers. They brought in Steve Cardenas, Karen Ashley, and Johnny Young Bosch, and Austin St. John, Walter Jones, and Thuy Thrang. Bye-bye. Later.
I know, but what if it might have been different if all the Rangers had done it?
I don't think, because I think they knew they were not going to get the deal they wanted to get.
Well, I'm just saying that's how.
And they weren't willing to talk about it.
Do you understand how it falls apart if not all of them do it?
No, because again, I'm telling you, you can go out and get 5 other people off the fucking street. Okay? I mean,
But that's not what they did. They got 3 people and they had 2 of the other ones or whatever.
right, and nothing changed. If anything, their ratings went up. So the people that we're talking, that you're saying, oh, they should stand up for what they fucking believe
Yeah.
in, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
blah. Kick rocks. Then you're gone.
Well, I'm saying if all
then
5,
you're done. If you're going to fucking
you
say that,
just
then
said-
you're gone.
You just said you don't understand collective bargaining. and how it's different if all 5 of them did it.
Again, I'm telling you, I know how collective bargaining works, and Haim Saban would have been like, well, all 5 of you can fuck off.
I'm sure he would have, but it may not have been the same way.
I mean, again, hindsight. I don't know how to say what would have happened.
Exactly.
Know? I'm guessing what would have happened based off the fact that you're dealing with a billionaire and a multi-billion-dollar property.
Uh-huh.
And I'm telling you right now, if these kids came in and were like, I want this, I want that, I'd say, dude, no, I don't need that. From a business point of view, I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need you that bad. The Power Rangers are the stars of the show, not you.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that may be wrong and that may be morally fucked up, but that's what I think is going on and that's what I think happened.
I know, but I'm saying if you don't, you have to apply the leverage where you can. You can't.
There was no leverage. That's what I'm telling you.
Would you say it's a betrayal for the other ones to not have if they had agreed to?
I don't think it's a betrayal because it's business at the end of the day. It's business.
So if you agree,
and according to the original ones, there was no arrangement.
I'm saying if again.
Again.
So it would be a betrayal?
I don't.
If there was an agreement, it would be a betrayal.
Fine. Okay. Fine. It was
simple.
A betrayal.
Yeah.
But again, the other 3 or 4 said no. There was never no such fucking thing. Because we knew that Haim Saban would be like, you fucking idiots. Because again, it's a simple matter of math. Now, could they have been paid more? Sure, absolutely. Do I think they should have been paid more? Absolutely.
How did the cast of Friends get a pay raise?
The cast of Friends are people that are on screen.
I'm just
for
saying,
30
what did they
minutes,
do?
And it's a totally different thing. It's the kids' TV show. And the revenue is based off toys, not off ads and other stuff. That's why they got paid what they got paid.
Irregardless of toys and shit like that, Mr. Tangent, I'm saying,
horseshit.
How did collectively the cast of Friends said, you got to pay us this or that? I understand.
I just told you.
I understand it's completely different.
I just told you.
No, you talked a bunch of nonsense.
I just told you.
What did you tell me?
Friends' revenue is completely different from the revenue stream of the mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
What does the revenue?
Why do you not understand that?
Why does the revenue, where the revenue comes from, matter to how much a person gets paid?
Dude, I mean, that's like saying that is so contradictory I can't even begin to explain. Okay? It's real simple.
No, it's not. Your revenue is here. It comes from different streams, and then you use it to pay people.
You don't understand what I'm saying to you.
And you see, the Friends people said, we're not going to do anymore, so that would stop the revenue stream. And so
because of the advertising from the show, because the advertisers would start pulling the money from Friends because they're like, oh, well, if Jennifer Aniston's not on there anymore, I don't want any fucking ads on this thing.
Exactly.
Okay, that's not how Power Rangers was. The money in Power Rangers was made off the toys and the bullshit that came out.
Yeah,
that's how they made money, not from advertisers or other people or other ways,
but if they
like a sitcom.
If they quit making the show, they're not going to sell toys.
They wouldn't have quit making the show, is what I'm telling you. They would have gotten 5 other people, fresh actors, and they would have said, you guys are now the Power Rangers. Congratulations.
Well, why couldn't
As a matter of fact, in the show, they say there were 3 groups of people that were up for the roles. But
that's not what happened. They didn't have the collective bargaining. So you cannot compare it and compare.
Because it's not a union job. Because they didn't have to shoot as much. Because they were using footage from Japan.
The Friends collective bargaining had nothing.
You're not listening.
You're not listening. You're talking about unions footage, and I'm talking about how these people were like, hey, we got to do this, and then we'll get more money.
Is that not their job?
Who?
Fox and Haim Saban and his company. Is their job not to make more money?
Well, yeah, they need they need the Power Rangers to make more money.
Exactly. They don't need the actors. They need the Power Rangers. And they had that. right? So why give
No,
the actors
no.
more money?
They had. If the Power Rangers left, you don't have the Power Rangers.
Again, that's impossible because he owned the footage for Super Sentai.
That's got nothing to do with it. It's
It
like
does.
WWE.
You have Power Rangers. You just have to get 5 new American actors.
WWE, when they brought back Razor Ramon and Diesel.
No, totally different.
Well, it's just people
These
in the
guys
seat.
are
It's
people
fake.
in costume
It's
and
stuff,
helmets.
blah, blah. But they
all
didn't do
that
it
stuff.
collectively. So you can't even argue it because it's not collective.
Again, even if it was collective, I think that's why the other 4 stayed because they knew
Who
what
are the
answer
other
would
4?
be. Jason David Frank, David Yost, Kimberly, Amy Jo Johnson, and I guess that's it. I guess there were 6. So the other 3 that remained.
See?
And Jason
That's
David
50%
Frank.
of them.
Jason
if
David-
50% of the friends were like, hey, we're not going to leave, they would have cut those other 50% a lot more than they would have cut the 100%. Can you
Okay.
not agree with that?
No, I don't. No, I
now
think they
that's-
would have laughed him out of the office. They would have said, dude, get the fuck out of here. If you don't want to be part of this hit
That's
show
what I just
that
said.
could be a
That's
jumping
what I
spot
just said.
for an acting gig down the road where you will make money and you will have all these fancy
yeah, that's
things.
what I just said. If the 3 people and friends said that we want more money and the other 3 didn't, they would have said, get out of here. But since all 6 of them said
Again,
no,
totally different situation.
of course it is, but that's how collective bargaining works.
I know how collective bargaining works, and I'm telling you it would not have worked, and the other 3 knew that. That's why there was no collective bargaining agreement, because it would never have been offered, dude. It wouldn't have even been offered to them.
It's not how it doesn't get offered to you, dude. You got to demand it.
Okay, again, what I'm telling you is if you demand it, Haim Saban laughs you out of his office.
But not if you have
And
all
replaces
your
you
Power
instantly.
Rangers with you.
Doesn't matter. All of them are gone.
You don't
Bye.
know. You don't know that.
I'm telling you.
It didn't
I'm
happen.
telling
It
you.
didn't
That's what
happen
would
that
happen.
way, though.
$5 to $10 million.
It didn't happen
out.
that way, though.
I mean, no, it didn't. But I mean, it wouldn't. They were not going to get what they wanted.
No,
And there ain't a soul
but it was a starting
on this
point.
world
But
that
it was a
would tell you
starting
that.
point.
You got to sit back.
Negotiation
You're really
start.
up on the camera.
I don't care.
Sit back.
No. I can sit however I want.
Okay, fine. God, now he's pouting. Okay, so anyway, going back to the Hollywood
Well,
Demon
I
show.
like collective bargaining. I'm into that.
I'm sure you are, dude, and I'm not.
And
I'm
the
saying that
better
I'm
world.
not into it. I'm telling you, this
You
is what
clearly
happened in
are. You're like,
1995.
I don't think it works. We should just fucking bow down and accept our scraps.
Dude, you're just too bitter, man. You're too fucking bitter.
Well, look at the world.
You're too fucking bitter, man.
How's
you got to
your
chill.
401k doing?
I mean, dude, it's doing what it's doing. I mean, can I change it? Can I fix it?
We could.
How? How would I fix it?
Collective bargaining. Collective action. Yes.
So now we're comparing this to American politics.
That's what collective bargaining is.
Okay. Again, you're different. You've changed.
No, I've
And
always
it's really
cared.
hard to have discussions with you.
I've
now.
always cared about.
You
the
always come back around.
99%,
Do you
dude.
really think that I don't care?
No, but you have a lot of right-wing tendencies.
Okay, right-wing tendencies versus left-wing extremism, I think, is what you mean to say. Okay?
No. See,
Yes,
that's the
yes.
right-wing tendency right
No,
there.
again-
where you
again,
think
yeah.
arguing against billionaires is extreme.
Do you think that I am for billionaires, Christian?
It sounds like it.
Well, again, see, that's why you're different. That's why you're not the guy I used to know, because this
Why can't you
election
just say you hate
wounded you
billionaires
so
too?
deeply.
Why do you have to attack me?
I'm not attacking you. I'm saying you're not even listening to what I'm saying.
No, I hear you
No,
completely.
well, then this should make complete sense to you. If you're listening to me.
What should?
The Power Rangers and the reason the 3 left and the reason that they were told to leave and the reason they were replaced a day later.
Oh yeah,
And the fact that if the 6
it
of
makes
them would have gone in
complete
there,
sense.
that it would have been the same fucking situation.
What if they had gotten everyone on cast and crew to demand a pay raise?
Again, the cast and crew, I believe, and I'm not saying I'm gospel on this, I believe they were union.
I mean, were there
Only
wages?
the actors
there-
were not.
Were they getting good wages? I don't know, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Seems
dude.
like Power Rangers
Jesus
has made
Christ almighty.
Tom Saban a lot of money.
They have made him a lot of money. But it's not just, you're acting like it's going to one guy. It's not just going to one guy. It's being distributed
90%
about
of it
his
is
company.
going to there.
And I mean, he sold it to Disney for a while, and it was there for a while. And
Sounds like you're defending billionaires again.
I'm not even going to fucking talk to you anymore, dude. Jesus Christ. I mean, I can't talk to you anymore. You won't even listen. I mean, you think I'm for fucking billionaires? That's the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life. That somebody says to me, you're a right-wing fucking person. I'm not talking right-wing. I am reporting the story, and I am telling you my opinion as to why the demands that were made from these three actors who were simply dubbing over Japanese programming.
I'm having a discussion with you about
may I finish?
Why can't collective bargaining be used?
Let me finish. Collective bargaining could not have been used in this situation because, number one, they were not union. Number two, they didn't have a whole bunch of experience in acting or in Hollywood. Number three, there were several people that were up for the role. They knew that if they said anything about it, it was on the fucking documentary. They knew if they said anything about it, that they would be kicked off the show. Because again, you're talking about something that is two halves. Okay? The first half is the American actors and their performance. The second half is a completely different thing in a completely different country with masked characters that can easily be replaced. Now, you talk about a show like Friends, you can't do that with Monica. You can't do that with Rachel.
Yeah, but like you said, if you had three of them that left, if Monica was like, I deserve a pay raise, and no one else was there backing her up, Monica's gone.
Again.
And you agreed to that, and now are you changing that? You disagree?
Wait a minute, say that again now?
If just one of the friends had gone in demanding a raise and not all of them.
Why would that have happened? Why the fuck would that happen?
That's what happened at the Power Rangers.
No.
You had three of them go in.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
So if three friends went in, how is that different than one friend going in?
Friends and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for the fucking 100th time is not the same show. They do not get the same revenue streams, and it's not a similar situation in any way, shape, or form.
I understand that. It's mostly because about the mass, and you don't need them.
Right. Exactly.
You can just put a new person in.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. Am I saying it's right or wrong? No. I'm just telling you where I think Haim Saban's head was at this time, because that's what they wanted. They wanted a percentage of the merchandise, right? And again, I think the three that stayed knew that wasn't going to happen.
I think that sounds like, a negotiation.
Again, $5 to $10 million for half of a show.
It's a starting point, Zip. Just because you ask for that doesn't mean that's what you're going to get. But it's like you
so
said,
what if they don't get it?
So
what if they don't get it?
They'll get more. They compromise.
But what if they don't?
They compromise.
But what if they don't?
Then they walk.
So what's the difference? They're gone. So what's the difference between saying, no, I'm not doing any of that shit. You can
because
go
it wasn't
do
everyone.
something else.
It wasn't
I'll
everyone.
get somebody else to come in. They did. Their ratings went up. They got a feature film that these original Rangers are not a part of now.
Yeah.
Because they decided to go for the fucking toys. And it was never going to happen.
I don't think the toys has to do with it.
It has everything to do with it. You need to read about it. It has everything to do with it.
So
that's how Power Rangers made the money.
If they would have asked for less money, they might have got it, is what you're saying? But
if they would have asked for less money.
But you're saying they asked for too much.
I'm saying they asked for a percentage of the toy sales.
Which was too much.
Right.
So if they had asked for less, but more than they were making. See, that's what you
I don't know. Again, there are a lot of factors.
Toy sales is something to have to do with it.
God damn. There's a lot of factors that are involved in this situation. Okay? One of them is the toy sales, royalties, stuff like that. Another one is the fact that the union in Hollywood, the SAGA union or whatever was involved. So you couldn't have really a collective agreement because there were people at different tiers of the entertainment spectrum working on the show. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The actors were non-union. The crew and everybody else that you just mentioned was union, so they were getting paid what everyone else in the industry was getting paid. It was only the actors that were not getting paid what they were worth. Okay?
I hope that's correct.
That is correct, according to the show that I watched yesterday.
Okay.
Okay? So, Thuy Thrang, Walter Jones, and Austin St. John said after the first season, this is $1 billion franchise, this is $1 billion show, we should be making more money, we need to do something. Thuy, go up on stage in front of the affiliates and Fox representatives and all the people that own the brand and tell them we want more money.
Yeah.
Which is the clip that you referenced.
No.
Yeah, you referenced the clip where she came out and said, we do a show for you, why don't you do a show for us? You don't remember doing that? I can run back the tape.
Yeah, I talked about that.
Okay,
but
that's
not
what I'm talking about.
Argument.
That's the moment.
I'm talking about when the three
on the show, it's revealed that she ran off stage and ran into the arms of the stunt coordinator, crying, talking about what did I do? What did I do?
Okay.
Because she knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah, she put her job in danger.
Yeah, she put her job in danger
because nobody had her back.
Apparently, Austin St. John and Walter Jones had her back, but didn't do shit.
But that's not how you have to have everyone for it to work.
Again, everyone wasn't in agreement before she made that statement.
Exactly. So it's not going to work.
Right. So why make the statement?
I don't know.
Exactly. Why? It makes no sense.
What?
To make the statement. It makes no sense to make it because you don't have people that have your back like you just said.
I don't know.
Oh, now you don't know? I don't know.
She's telling me he wants more money. You're not allowed to ask for more money?
Christian, dude, I don't know what you're trying to prove here.
I'm not trying to prove anything.
Okay. Well, yeah, you sound like you're trying to prove that I'm some kind of right-wing extremist or something.
No, you just it's just funny how much
and I'm just telling you about this show. My camera has died because of battery because we've been running so long.
Well, I'm just saying Power Rangers could have changed the world, dude, if they would all collective bargain together instead of bitching out.
I don't disagree with that.
Good.
Okay? Good. I don't disagree with I'm just saying they could have gone about it a different way and should have. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it sounds like earlier you kept saying, no, they shouldn't have because they'd all just get fired.
If you're going after the toy sales, dude, and that's what they wanted. If they would have said, like you, let's negotiate money, that's a different situation, but that's not what they said. They said we want a percentage of the toy sales. And it wasn't going to happen. Anyway, enough of this.